Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing dotted arrows. Now, if you can see the grid, you'll entirely understand what I'm doing here with the thumbnail, because we've got a bunch of arrows in there that have a bunch of yellow dots on them. So I can't imagine anything other than sort of essentially tennis balls covering the tip of the arrows to make them, I guess, safer to play with. But play with, shoot with, aim with. Yeah, I'm confusing myself now. But I can imagine it will just make it very, very awkward to be able to shoot any kind of target. Well, it looks like a nice day there where Sleuth is. It's actually a nice day here, and I'm hoping that you're all having a lovely long weekend. I think 60% of you have Monday off between the UK and the US and a few other countries. So hope that you're enjoying the weekend. It also means that I feel a little bit more comfortable featuring this puzzle. So if you haven't guessed, today's puzzle is the return of the shifter dots. It is a 3-star difficulty rated puzzle. But that's okay, we've got 3 days to try and crack this one. Well, you do, I don't. I'm hoping it's going to be under an hour. Let's take a look at today's puzzle and rule sets. So, Shifter Dots 105, Dotted Arrows by gUBBLOR. And hence the reference, as you can see, to arrows with yellow dots. You know, this one in particular almost very much looks like some of the pictures that I was trying to draw. Rules-wise, we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. That means place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, column, and 3x3 box. That's familiar. Shifter dots, for many of you, this is going to be familiar as well. So digits on different sides of a shifter dot must always share either parity, even/odd, or polarity, high/low, never neither, and never both. And shifter dots can never have a 5 on it. It's a long paragraph that's easiest explained with an example. So I'm looking for an example somewhere. Let's say that this here is a 2. So either I am sharing the polarity, as in this is low, so it could be 1, 3 for example, or I'm sharing the parity but not polarity. So this would be high and even. What I couldn't do is share both parity and polarity with a 4, or neither, like 7 and 9, which is, 2 is low and even, 7 and 9 are high and odd. And obviously, you can never have a 5 on a shifter dot. We've got Kropki dots. A black dot between cells indicates cell values with a 2 to 1 ratio. White dot indicates cells that are consecutive, and not all dots are shown. If this cell here is a 2, for example, this would have to be 1 or 4, so that essentially one cell is double the other. If this is a 2, this would have to be 1 or 3, so that they are indeed consecutive. Not all dots are shown means that there is no negative constraint. So 2 with a 4 in here, clearly the 4 is double the 2, no black dot. A 1 in here, clearly the 1 and 2 are consecutive. Let's make this even easier. 3 and 2 are consecutive, no white dot, also not a problem. What else do we have? Last but not least, of course, is what it's named all about. Arrows. The digits along each arrow must sum to the digits in the circled cell. Digits may repeat on arrows. Some of the arrows, for example, only one really, this one, are actually, these two cells can clearly repeat under normal Sudoku rules. They're not sharing the same row, column, or box. And gUBBLOR is explicitly saying that they can repeat. So, for example, if this cell here is a 1 and a 2, these two cells sum up to 3, which you're going to have to be able to put inside the circle. If that's a 4, this would be 1 and 3, for example, in that order, to be able to add up to 4, etc., etc. So, as always, if you want to play along, I wouldn't recommend going shooting with arrows that are, tipped with tennis balls. That doesn't feel like fun. But if you want to play this Sudoku, that is fun. Link will be in the description down below as usual for you to play along. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I got on. I admit I'm kind of half tempted sometimes to do my explanation about shifter dots before I restart the clock, rather than sort of be, penalized for it. But never mind, I am going to do this now anyway. Right, so I've paired up all the digits excluding the 5 because they can never be on a shifter dot. So that's all of the digits 1 to 9. I've paired them up deliberately so that they share polarity and parity. So low and odd, low and even, high and odd. And the key thing to remember is that I can always shift one of them. So I can go from a low odd to a low even, or from a low odd to a high odd. So in a way, you can kind of think of this as a circle, and you're either going clockwise or counterclockwise. What you can never do across a shifter dot is stay in place or go diagonally. Because when you go diagonally, you're essentially moving from low odd in this case to high even. That doesn't work. And the same is true, low even to high odd. Now this allows me to do something like coloring. So I'm going to go with 1368 are red, 2479 are blue, and I'm going to use this probably throughout this solve. I'm going to leave this as a reference somewhere to start. I don't know. I don't know if I need it as a reference somewhere, but just for completion's sake. Right. Now, the reason I was sort of looking at this is looking around, the arrows broadly, with the exception of this one, are quite short. There are 2 cells, or in this case, 1 cell. This arrow is 3 cells, and I think, these 2 arrows, if I'm honest, are the most interesting. There are 3 cells, that's one thing. But this one in particular is covered in shifter dots. And because every time you go through a shifter dot, you have to shift color. Now, I don't know what's red, what's blue. I can essentially go purple and orange. And whenever you're on an orange, the rest of it has to be purple. And now I have a very strange constraint that I need to try and meet. I need to somehow add up 3 digits of the same color and end up with a digit that is of the same color. Remember, there can be repeats. So let's give this a go. I think so. If I try something like 1 and 3, that's already at 4. And essentially, I can't get to 1 or 3 anymore. I would have to be shooting for 6 or 8. And then I'm going to really struggle because 1 and 3 is 4. And if I try and add 1 or 3, they're odd digits. That would make this odd, but I'm trying to get to an even digit, so that doesn't work. So I'd have to put an even digit, like a 6. And then 1 and 3 is 4 and 6. That's 10. So this is, like you can see, it's actually extremely awkward to do. Maybe the parity actually helps. So if I do 1 and 6, that's 7, and a 1, and an 8, that works. And I think that's the only way that works if purple is red. And I think that's the only way it would work, just full stop. Because, yeah, so if I try and use blue, I'm going to have the same challenge. If I put 2 and 4, they're both even. And if I use 2 and 4 again in here, that's even. And I can't get to 7 or 9. And 2 and 4 is 6, and then another 2 or 4, it's either 8 or 10 is too big. Now, if I try the same trick where I use 1 low digit and 1 high digit, the lowest I could use would be 2, 7. I'm already at 9. Yes, I mean, I can get to either 2 in here, for example, like I've done with the 1, but now I'm at 11. That is not available. So I think a long way of saying purple, what happened there? Purple is red, orange is blue, and these digits are all forced. Now that also forces the black Kropki dot 2-4. It's not 1-2, it's not 2-4, obviously it is. It's not 4-8, and it's not 3-6. That's the only possibility. Which makes this 7 or 9, which makes this 3-7-9. There's essentially a 3 in here with the remaining blue digit, 1 red, 1 blue, and that's the only place for a 5. I think I could have placed the 5 from the start, if I'm honest, because that is, everything else is on a shifter dot, a black Kropki dot, or shifter dot. So yeah, the 5 was placed ages ago. Right, don't need this anymore. Kind of same constraint up here. This is 2-4 or 3-6. Don't know if I want to label it. Do I want to? Don't know. This one is, again, interesting because of the shifter dots, even though it's only 2 cells. I removed this prematurely. So 1368, 2479. Back to coloring. So this is going to be, let's say, orange. All of these are purple. Now I need 2 of the same color to add up to the same color. So I could do 2, 4, and... Sorry, what? No, not 6, 7. And again, I'm going to have to mix them. Sorry, I'm not making sense. Because the parity changes between the low and high digits. If I go with 2 and 4, I'm going to remain even, and then the remaining digits are odd. So that doesn't work. And the same is true if I put 1, 3 in here. Forget that cell for a second. I'm getting to 4, way too far away from the 6 and 8. I couldn't do 1, 6, the sort of same trick that I've done here, because that would get me to an odd digit, and I'm after an even digit. That doesn't work. However, I can do 2, 7 with a 9. That does work. Feels like it's forced again. I can't think of another example that would work. 1, 3 wouldn't, 1, 6 wouldn't, and 1, 8 is too big. 3, 6 is too big. I mean, too big for 1, 3, 6, 8. 2, 4 is 6, which is no good. 2, 7 works. 4, 7 clearly doesn't. This is forced. That's a 9. This is, again, red. Purple in this case, blue. I say again, I can't remember what it was previously. And that 9 gives me a 7 up here, and then this is 3, 9. Whatever this cell is, you can see that because it's a single cell arrow, it's the same. Whatever the sum is on the arrow is equal to what's on the circle, so it's just equal. Not 1. I mean, am I going to write all of this in? 3, 6, 8? May as well. So this is not 1, 2, not 2, 4. Again, with the 4, 8, and 3, 6. 4, 8, no. This is 2, 4, or 3, 6. In this case, 4, 8, or 3, 6. And it's like essentially sort of mutually exclusive in a way. The 8 can't be used anywhere else in this box because it's either 4, 8 in here and this is 3, 6, or it's 3, 6 in here and this is 8. Interesting, but not very useful just yet. Where am I going? This could be interesting because 1, 2, and 4. Yeah, the next 2 digits is 3 and 5. So that's already at 8. So this is 8 or 9. And if it's an 8, I can't get to it with 3, 5 because 1, 7 is not available. 2, 6 is not available. Can't have a 5 on a Kropki dot. Sorry, on a shifter dot. And if it's an 8, that would be a 3. That would be an 8. And they're both the same color and they need to shift. So I think this is again forced with a 9. And it's not 1, 8, not 2, 7, not 4, 5. It is 3, 6. I don't know if it's forced to be a 3 in here. It could be 6, surely. Yeah, so that's blue. That's red. Let's think about the rest of these, though. This is 5, 7, 8, 9. 5 can't be on the white Kropki dot anymore, obviously, because, it's not connected to a 4 or a 6, so that's gone. 7, 8, and 9, the 8 has to join them. With the white dots, you always have to have one even, one odd, otherwise they're not going to be consecutive. No 8s in here. So I have a bunch of options for this cell. Is 7, 8, or 9. Let's see if I can try 8 first. It's not 1, 7. It's not 2, 6. It's not 3, 5. It's not 8. That gives me an 8 in here. That also removes the 8 from there, which gives me, hang on, does it give me? Yeah, this is not 1, 2. And now definitely not 3, 6. This is 4, 8. Can't be anything else in this black Kropki dot. Right, the 7. So it's not 1, 6. It's not 2, 5. It could be 3, 4. And if it's a 9, well, it's clearly not 1, 8. It's not 2, 7. It's not 3, 6. And it's not 4, 5. It is 3, 4. And this is a 7. Lovely. Not 7, 2, and 7. Still don't know about this 3, 6. 3, 9 in here means no 9 there. This has to be a 9. This is a 5. And these cells are now known. They are 2, 5, 6, I'm going to say. 2, 5, 6, not a 2. Sorry, I'm again taking it all in and I'm just thinking this just feels awkward. I mean, I can pencil mark all of these, but I don't know to what end. 1, 4, 7. Let's just carry on. 2, 8, 9. Sorry, it took me a while to see that 9. 9. Well, not 9. Right. We're going to have to try and figure out. I mean, this is the only sort of, well, again, could be interesting. It's just it's either 3, 6 or 2, 4. It really, really doesn't help. And because of the 1, 8, it also repeats this thing in here. So essentially, if this is 3, 6, this is 9, and this is again 3, 6, and then that becomes 3, 6, 3, 6, that becomes 2, 5. That becomes a 4, interestingly, because the 4 is not in here. That becomes another 2, 5, and it becomes specifically a 5, and this becomes a 2. I don't know if I want to fully pencil mark the column. I'm just sort of letting my, yeah, because once I put 2, 4, 2, 4, and a 6 in here, then the 4 could be there, the 2 could be there. Yeah, this is just nonsense. I'm not going to pencil mark these. It's going to have everything. Right, we're back to this arrow. So we know that this is 6, 7, or 8. Because it's not 9, and it's adding up 3 cells, which is a minimum of 1 plus 2 plus 3, which gets us to 6. So I could do 6, which is a red cell, and then I need a blue cell, which can only be the 2. Then I would need 1 and 3. Because of the 2, this would end up being 3, 6. So specifically, this would be a 1, and this would be a 3. And then this would be 2, 4, and then this would be 6, and, you know, things like, no, that doesn't work. Can't have a 1 here. Because that's a white Kropki dot that eliminates the 2. Huh. And the 2 is here, which makes it 3, 6. So this becomes not 1 or 3. Yeah, no 6. Right? 7. Need it to be 1, 2, 4. This is a blue cell. This would have to be the 1. These would have to be 2, 4. 2, 4 in here makes this 3, 6. It always seems to be that this is always 3, 6, interestingly. This could be a 2, and I guess this would be 3 or 5. That looks fine to me. Actually, all looks okay to me. Providing that this is 3, 6. Well, I mean, it's forcing it to be 3, 6. Right, let's think about the other possibility. So 8 is not a pretty one. The reason is just 8. I have 2 options, 1, 2, 5, 1, 3, 4. Now this cell couldn't be 1 or 3, or 5 or 1, because 8 would be red. This would have to be blue. So it's not 1, 3. It could be 4. Again, eliminates the 2, 4 with 1, 3. Because this is 3, 6, it would force the 3 up here, the 1 up here. And actually, it does work this time because 1, 3, 4 leaves room for 2 in here. So 8 with 1, 3, 4 works. And sadly, so does 7. 7 with 1, 2, 4. 3 or 5 in here also work. But both of them were 3, 6. Let's just double check if 1, 2, 5 is also forcing a 3, 6. So the 8 would be here. This couldn't be a 1. This would again be a 2. This would have to be a 1. And this would have to be the 5. And then it has a bunch of options. It could be 4 or 6. But essentially, this is not 2, 4. Not 2, 4. This is 3, 6. This is a 9. 3, 6 and 3, 6 means that this is not a 6. So this is not 2 or 4. It could be 5. It has to be 5. Hang on. 1. Forget the 2. So remaining digits are 2, 4, 5, aren't they? Yeah, that's a triplet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's correct. And this is not 2 or 4. That's just a 5. That's a 2. That's a 4. This is 1, 3. Sorry, I'm going to tidy up here, which forces this to be a 6, forces this to be a 3, forces this to be a 6 because of the 1, 3 pair here, which gives me a 3 down there. That 3, you know, I could have done this earlier. That's 9, that's 9, that's 3. That's looking good. Hasn't exactly eliminated anything so far, has it? No. That's awkward. Remind me, 7, well, it removes the 3. So if it's 1, 2, 4, sorry, I'm going to have to do all of this again. If it's an 7, It's a lot more force now. So this needed to be the 1. This can't be the 2 because the 3 is not available. So this would have to be the 4. This would have to be a 5. And this would have to be the 2. So it's, you know, way more force now. And this would have to be a 9. I mean, you'd be able to write in the entire thing, wouldn't you? 9, 6, 3, 8. Okay. If it is an 8, let's just think this through. Hopefully it's forced a few more things for me. I'm pretty sure this is the way that I should be looking. These are 2, 4, 5. This is 2, 4. This is 2, 5 with 1, 3, 4. And this is, well, all of them 2, 4, 5. In fact, this is 2 or 5. Does that help? No. 7, 8. Anyway, 8, we still have options. So 1, 2, 5 forces this to be the 2, forces this to be a 1, forces this to be a 5, forces this to be a 6 because it's not 4. 1, 3, 4 would force this to be a 4. And because this can't be a 3, this would have to be the 1, a 2, and a 3. 8. No, hang on, that doesn't work. Yeah, that doesn't work. 1, 3, 4 doesn't work. 1, 3, 4, because that becomes 4. No, that's right, it does work. That becomes 3, that becomes 1. Yeah, because it's changing color. Sorry. 4, 3, 1, 2. Sadly, not disambiguated unless I'm missing something. No 6. Actually, I mean, 9's, you know, this is still a given. This is the 9. There's no other place for it. That's not a 9. That is a 9. So we'll take that. That's a win. Take it. The 6 is not as confirmed. 6 could be in one of 2 cells. So I can only imagine that this is what is meant to help us figure out what's going on. Such as, there are no 5s anywhere in here. So the 5 is in on these 2 cells. Interesting. Oh. How's that helping me? It's going so smoothly, and then I'm just like crashed to a halt. I don't quite get it. These are, and I'll just sort of distracting myself looking around for other things to do. Sorry, that's not a 2. That's 4, 8 looking at this for a while. That's just a bit silly. 3, 1. That 1 gave me a 6, a 1, and therefore a 5, a 6. So this is red, and it's not 1, 3, or 6. It's an 8. Okay. 8 is not in any of these. 8 is in one of 2 cells. Then 8 would be here in box 7. Can I do anything else in here? So this is, well, this digit is just known. It is 5. Then I have 2 and 7 in here. 1, 3, 4 is not helping. Yeah, it's just, you know, there's probably things that I can complete across. Let's just do this for a second, sorry. Let's think about what this cell could be. We know it's not 9. Minimum is 3, and it isn't. So this could be as low as 4. Can it really be as low as 4? With 1, 3 in here. 1, 3, another 1, 2, 3, 4. Seems possible. Feels highly unlikely, but seems possible. I think what I need to do is figure out what's going on with the 5s. The 5 in here is definitely in one of 2 cells, which makes it 1 of 2 in here. And then, yeah, 1 of 3. This is not brilliant. If this is 5, I can't even seem to discount 2, 3, and 1, 4. I can't even tell which one of the pairs it is. And if there's 5 on here, I don't seem to be able to discount 6, 7, or 8. They're all seemingly possible. So it doesn't seem to be the way forward. Let me put it that way. This is a different color. Different color, different color, different. Maybe I need to be thinking about colors for a second. So orange, purple, 7. So if it was a 7, I do remember this, it would have to be 4, no, excuse me, 7. It would have to be 1, 2, and 4. This would be orange. If it's 8, well, they still have the 5 as a possibility, so this is not helpful. What about in the column? So essentially I've got, let's think about this again. So I would have 7, 9, and 1 of 2, 4 in here. Or 8, 1 of 1, 3, a 3, 6. This would be 2. Yeah, struggling with this. Sudokus at all? I mean, 9s are done. 6s, 1 of 2 cells. No idea where it is in here. I'm sure I'm going to kick myself once I spot it. Or, you know, you're already kicking. 5, Sleuth, Sleuth, come on, not 6. Where is 6? None of these cells. That's a 6. That's an 8. Because I had to have an 8 in here. Right, so this is 1, 3, 4. That's a 3. That's a 4. That's a 1. That's a 2. That's a 5. That's a 7. Well, the good news is I was correct. I was talking about 5s for some reason, just going around the entire cell, the entire grid, not seeing this 5. Anyway, 6, 3, not 4. Don't know. It's looking like this is 1, 4 with 5. Not 1, not 7. Seems to be as far as I could take it. So this is 1, 5, 7. This is clearly not the 1. And this is probably not the 7. Yeah. So 1 with a 4 to make a 5. 1 with no 6s. And a 4 is available to make a 5. That works. 7, I could do 5, 2. Yeah, still not resolved. This time I'm just, I am going to double check things because, you know, I'm known to miss sometimes some very obvious things. So 1, 4 or 2, 5 seems to be what it's boiling down to. Clearly that can't be a 5. Yeah, so 7 would force a 1, would force a 5. And therefore it has to be a 2. Makes sense. If that's 5, this has to be 1 or 7. That's the remaining in the column. And clearly it has to be a 1, and that would be 4. So it is forced. 3 is placed. So this is 1, 2, 4, and it is not a 2. It's 1 or 4, which makes this a 2, which makes this a 5, which makes this a 7, which makes this a 1. 7, right, I'm sure we've got it. we've got it from here. Famous last words. 468. Seemingly not resolved, other than just not being a 6. 2 and 7 are resolved. That 5 is resolved, which gives me... 5 was restricted, wasn't it? I remember like an awkward shape. Yeah, that's a 5. That 4 is done because of this 2, which is a 2 in here. That 4 gives me 8, 4, which gives me 6. And this is not a 4 or 6, it's 8, and this is 4. Right, we are going to solve this. 3 can only be in here. 9, I was done. 6, yeah, 6. This is also done, that's just a 1. And then in here is 7 and 8, I'm going to say, to complete the row. Right, we know what this cell is. It is 7, which gives me 8 and 7. I need a 1 somewhere. It can only be in here. I need an 8 somewhere. One of these two cells, that's the 8. This is the 4, 2, 4. If I've not made any mistakes, 2 for the finish. It's a lovely puzzle, gUBBLOR. It's going so smoothly until, you know, like, yeah, just anyhow. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video. I mean, I think the solve was reasonably smooth. And the puzzle, yeah, fantastic. So, you know, I get gUBBLOR's comments about them not getting enough attention. What was I? Solver number 37. Yeah, it deserves more attention than it's received. I hope that you guys give this a go. And to see you back for the next one, enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye for now.